less than we are with any of our other.
Well,
conferences, or that we already are now. So, I mean, in North,
years ago, I
whether it's a good reason or
So then I have to wait to hear.
so you can't be completely without risk, but it's not an additional exposure.
Now I know better. I'm just gonna stick to the back trails, and that's just back
Well,
trails.
through, well, January 1st, 27, so it's really through 27.
I'll bet you.
And you had that up for a week every year?
Well,
And I will
they
take that.
can't.
I know how much.
Me too.
I feel that there's like maybe, there's some Kingsbury County will set their ones.
No.
But, you know, the city has done, I know people flag on the pole.
So that is something.
No, this is the.
I stole that.
Hey, I'm stealing that.
I didn't, it sounded good anyway.
I can let you know the more. I stole it first.
You doing Rob's?
What, 2 years ago, maybe,
Okay,
already
that
contributed towards some of the.
So let me have your name, just so I get it down right.
Through this term, but it hasn't worked out that way, so that's why it wasn't from the beginning, because
Yes,
they were hoping they would.
C-U-R-T-I-S?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, C-U-R.
C-U-R-T-I-S.
T-I-S.
Get it together, buddy.
And, I think they put banners up for everybody.
7 o'clock, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Barlow.
Here.
Brem.
Here.
Deveroy.
Here.
McLean.
Here.
Rezeki.
Here.
Rocha. Senzelbarton.
Here.
Tassava.
Here. Entertained a motion to excuse Councilmember Rocha.
I'll make
So
that. Well, support.
Motion by McLean, supported by Rezegi, to approve the absence of Councilman Rocha. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. All rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everybody get a chance to look at your closed meeting minutes?
Yes, we ended it.
Okay, I'm the only one to hand back.
You were late to the party.
I was too busy talking, I guess. Okay, everybody get a chance to look at the agenda. Any additions or corrections?
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as written.
Support.
Motion by McLean, second by Deveroy to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. In your packet, you have the minutes of the March 24th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Any additions or corrections to that?
I move that we accept it as written, sir. Support.
Okay, motion by Barton, supported by Brem, to approve the minutes of March 24th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Roll call.
Deveroy.
Yeah.
Senzelbarton.
Yes.
Barlow.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Rezegi.
Yes.
Brem.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Also, at your desk tonight was the minutes of the March 24th, 2025 closed session meeting. Entertain a motion to accept and place those on file.
I'll make a motion to accept and place on file.
I support.
Moved by McLean, supported by Deveroy, to approve the minutes of the March 24th, 2025 closed session meeting. Roll call.
Senzelbarton.
Yes.
Deveroy.
Yes.
Barlow.
Yes.
Brem.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Rezegi.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Public hearing, we have none. Public comment. At this time, anybody would like to get up in public and speak, I'll give you 3 minutes. Tell me who you are. Tell me if you live in Hastings.
Is the mic on? Can you hear me? Okay. My name is Linda Curtis, and I'm a Gold Star mom. And I would like to share with you something that I wish to happen in our city. Every year, this last September of the month, we they honor the Gold Star families. And it's a week long. I would like to know if we could put a banner, like where the theater is, put a banner and say Gold Star Family Week. And it's national, it's everywhere. And if they could put, if I'm allowed to have a banner up there once a year, and it's the last week of September, and I already looked into the cost for a banner. I will see to it that that will be taken care of financially. I would just like the city to approve that we can do that and honor our Gold Star families every year, once a week out of the whole year. That's all I'm asking. So I was just told to come to a meeting and just voice my, I'm a Gold Star mom. And I would love to see that because there's a lot of Gold Star families in this community that I know. And I think it would be kind of cool to put that up once a week. Once a week for once a year. And that's all I wanted to share.
Okay. Thanks,
So,
Linda.
would I be able to get a response eventually? So I can.
This is,
I have a hard time hearing. So.
Just reach out to me, and I'll help you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you.
the only thing I was gonna say, Linda, is this is a comment period. We don't answer during comment, but we will bring it up, so. thank you.
Okay, so I'm to reach out to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I already looked into the cost, and that will be taken care of.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys. Thanks for all that you do.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, recognitions, I don't see Bill Mattson here tonight. So I'll read the proclamation anyhow. Every year, this time of year, we're asked to do a proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention Month. Normally I give it to Bill Mattson, but he's not here tonight. I'll make sure he gets it. But let me read the proclamation because I want everybody to know about this. This is official proclamation of the City of Hastings, Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem, ranking as one of the greatest risks to the health and well-being of Berry County children. And whereas child abuse and neglect may be the result of various social problems such as inadequate parenting skills, family violence, poverty, family dysfunction, mental health problems, homelessness, and crime. And whereas the most recent Berry County data from 2023 reports 112 confirmed victims of child abuse and neglect, ages 0 to 17. This is by the Children's Protective Services. And whereas the Family Support Center of Berry County has been designated by Michigan Child Trust Michigan to lead alongside local community-based programs to assist in expediting efforts to prevent child abuse now and in the future generations through joint interagency and prevention efforts. And whereas the most serious and valued asset of our county is our children, and we must dedicate ourselves, our energy, our resources to the nurturing and protection of these most valuable individuals. Protecting children and strengthening Berry County families is a shared community responsibility. And whereas the community action is needed to help families break the cycle of abuse with small or simple gestures. Just by reaching out and showing you care about the children in your family, your neighborhood, demonstrates that we value our children. Now therefore be it resolved that I, David J. Tassova, Mayor of the City of Hastings, do hereby declare April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Hastings. And I urge all citizens to work together to prevent child abuse and neglect significantly in the years to come. And I sign this, and as witness hereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the official seal of the City of Hastings to be affixed this 14th day of April 2025. Okay, Dave Hatfield's here to give us a brief presentation.
He said brief.
Yeah.
He told me he was
I
busy.
heard the brief, and looking at your agenda, I know what it's like to look at an agenda like that, so I'm going to keep this very brief. Mainly, I wanted to be here to see if you had any questions for me. Main things that we're working on at this point are the same things that I've reported to you before. COA continues to move forward. We're hoping that in the not-too-distant future, we'll see formal groundbreaking, just a couple of I's left to dot and maybe a T to cross, but things are moving along well with COA. We're also in the very early stages of moving forward with the jail. As you can imagine, that's an extraordinarily complex undertaking. We have hired Bison Associates, an architectural engineering firm, to help assist us with phase one, which is really an attempt to bring together a group of people in the community that have some familiarity, connection, expertise regarding the jail that can help us figure out exactly the scope of that project. But to say this is stage one, it does not mean that that's the firm that will end up being the architects on the project. They may or may not be. It likewise does not mean that there will not be an extensive community input process as we move along. But we've got to know what to talk to the community about before we can do that. So that's why we're putting this committee together and starting phase one. So any questions for what's going on at the county?
Any questions of our esteemed commissioner? Okay, thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. Was that short enough, sir?
That was just right, just right.
Wanted to make sure.
Okay, next up, we have our chief, Fire Chief Mark Jordan. He's going to give a report, his fire department annual report. Mark?
Hello, good evening, everybody. I'm going to do it sitting down here. It's a little easier to drive the computer here than up there. They don't see my driving skills. We sat down here. So, back in the end of 2023, we went ahead and changed our report management software to something that would give us a lot more information on how the department functions every day, what we do. And then January 1 of 24, we started implementing that software. So, we're still making changes to it as we go, but I was just going to run through the reports. And then if you see anything on there, just I'm not going to try and spend a whole bunch of time. But we'll go through it. If you have anything, just please stop me and ask me questions. Okay? So this is a very comprehensive report about what the fire. It's a very comprehensive report about everything about what the department does on a day-to-day basis. So we're going to start with it. We had 764 runs last year, calls for service. And what we'll do is we'll start breaking those runs down. So the first tells us by hour a day. So our busiest time of the day is 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. That's when we primarily see most of our calls. We start then looking at types of calls. Rescue calls, that encompasses EMS calls, car accidents and such. That's obviously that's our biggest call. Then our fire-related calls is 66, and we'll get to that here in just a minute of how that plays out. This one here shows the amount of time we spend on the scene. So the orange graph line is the amount of time we're on the scene. So that, if you look at that, makes sense that a call for service averages around 28 minutes, and a fire call we usually over, just over an hour or so. That's an average, okay? The next one here is Actually, a very similar graph, tells you the amount of time for a call, type of call. This one here is kind of important. So in 2024, we spent 39.4% of our calls on rescue calls. That's EMS calls, car accidents. And I'm going to compare that to state average and national average. And I'll explain to you why that number is so low. So if you look at average, it's 67% is an average, the amount fire departments spend on rescue calls compared to our 39%. National average is 63. So the state of Michigan is right there with the national average. But as I mentioned before, we're down at 39%. And the reason for that is that we have the luxury of having an EMS department, ambulance service right in the city. Most ambulances most fire departments always run EMS calls so that we get somebody to the house quickly. And we still do that. If the ambulance in the city is not available, then we still run those calls. So that's where your 39% is coming. Does that make sense? Yeah. Let's move forward to the types of calls. So the fire department, we had a total of 23 building fires in 2024. That's a very large number for a department our size and for a combination department. That's a big number of fires. And we had 16. I'm not going to read through all of them. Everyone can see them. And then the next one is our grass fires, vehicle fires. But the building fires just always sticks out to me. For a department this size, 23 in a single year is up there. Overpressure and ruptures, we had a couple of those, so we'll spend time there.
Mark, just a second. You
Sure.
said 23 fires. Is that because of the size of our district? Because of Burge?
Correct. So if everyone knows, we are the largest fire department in the county. We have 148 square miles. I'll give you an example. Thorn Apple has 5.6 square miles. So and we'll see that here in a minute when we get a little bit closer to the mutual aid. So EMS assists 140 times we assisted EMS, car accidents and such. Power lines, Series 400 hazardous conditions, 47 power lines down, vehicle accidents. This is just a response by breakdown. Just break down the responses to a different type of graph. Good intent calls, that can be somebody driving down the road, we see something, we get there was no emergency when we got there. That's a good intent call. Authorized control burning. False calls. I know we commented before the amount of false calls we get. So just to put that into perspective, we have 167 businesses in the district that have monitored alarm systems. You're always going to get false alarms with monitored alarms. So once again, if you compare that to other districts, our number is way up there. I've seen, we easily can go 5 or 6 a week on false alarms. And not necessarily false alarms, sometimes the defective alarm. It's not always false. Structural fires. So, total of 28 structural fires, that includes mutual aid. We received mutual aid 4 times. So, I don't know if everyone understands between mutual aid and automatic mutual aid. So this next year is going to be a lot different. So we had no automatic mutual aids in place at the beginning of 2024. We now have automatic mutual aids for the entire fire district. So whenever we have a fire in the city, when they dispatch us, they're dispatching another department to come with us. So this number will look a lot different when we do this next year. Mutual aid is when we actually call on the radio and say, we need some help. The automatic, with dispatch automatically does it for us. We don't have to call. Same with the given. We were requested 8 times and we automatically gave 2. So this is automatic mutual aid. So whatever aid we request for, we give the same match. So Thornapple, if they have a structure fire south of a certain point, we're going to be called automatic. Incidents by month, you can see that January was at 93. That was in 2024. We exceeded those numbers and are continuing to exceed those numbers month to month through March. This is a variation based on a zero line. Runs per month, average runs per month. This is a response by day. See that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday are our busiest days. The weekends are always pretty busy as well. Really the same report. So this one here is kind of important. This is an NFPA standard. We need to meet this to become either accredited or lower ISO rating. So the standard is 80%, and we were at 79.9. So we're still working on increasing those numbers to get down below those. That's a response time, and that's the first vehicle responding to the call.
Real quick, I'm sorry, Chief. Response time is measured where? How? Is it the first vehicle out of the station, the first vehicle on site?
First vehicle responding to the call.
First vehicle out of the station then. All right, thank you.
And this is on EMS. Standard is 80%, and we're at 68.7. Because we're a combination department, it kind of puts us in the middle. So there's a different standard for full-time, then there's a paid on call, and then we're combination. So it kind of drops us in the middle. So on the next report, that 80% will drop to 75 point something for a combination department. Concurrent call breakdown. This is when we have more than one call going on at a time. So we only had one call 692 times. We had 2 calls going, so we had 1 call plus another one, that's 66. So then 1 call plus 2 more, 8. We had 8 of them.
That usually happens when you have storms, power lines down, stuff like that.
Yes. That's just a different graph of the same thing. This is by district. I'm not sure why this did this on this bottom graph, but see that Rutland is certainly the highest user of the services. Going forward, the mutual aid will no longer be just a mutual aid. It's now going to be broke out by department, so we can see where we go the most when we go help with the department. So we started down this, so this is where we had 2 towns or 1 town coming to help. And then I started making those changes at the end of 24, so we have other cities coming in. So next year it'll have every city listed separately, unless it's somewhere that we get called that we've never been before. Probably going to just have a no name associated with it. Mutual aid summaries, where we went. Then again. automatic received 5, given 7, received 11. So someone made a comment to me that, well, we seem to be taking a lot more mutual aid than we're giving to other cities. Well, absolutely, because we're 3, 4, 5 times the size of those other locations, so we're going to need more mutual aid. Apparatus on calls, 308 we only had 1, 63 we had 2. This comes from all this data comes out of our infantry report, which is national report. Type of apparatus responding, suppression or other. It's a response. Is everyone familiar what each vehicle is? I tried to change these, but it really messed the report up. So I'll just, real quick, 3.5 is the vehicle I drive. That's the command vehicle, goes on those calls. 831 is our 2023 engine. 3.7 is the rescue. 3.3 is a grass truck. 3.4 is the tanker. 3.6 is the aerial. So 3.2 is the new engine that was just purchased, but that was out of service for a majority of 2024. So that's why the numbers are so low. EMD 82 is the county emergency management vehicle that we operate. And then the air trailer along with that, that's the same thing. And then 331 is the second grass truck. This number is going to move dramatically this next year. We are now, everything we do within the department gets entered into here. So fire alarm installs, pre-planning, every time we do an inspection on a business, everything goes in here going forward. Any business we visit, it goes in there, why we visited, why we were there, what we did. Did I just,
Oh, yeah, you did.
right. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how we did that.
Okay, motion second.
No.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Close your eyes.
All right. So that's where we were on the fire prevention summary. This one is permitting. So currently we issued 677 burn permits. That's throughout all townships.
About how many in the city of Hastings?
Maybe a couple. just for the site clearing.
Yeah, right. I said that because basically there's no burning in the city of Hastings
Yeah.
except campfires.
Yeah.
Tried to trick it.
Staff training. Over the year, the firefighters spent 469 hours, officers spent 202, and probationers spent 55 hours. Runs per person. Everybody, some of the people here are no longer with us, or some of them were not in for the whole year. And that's just a final, is just the final roster. That was as of the end of the year, 2024. Does that, anybody have any questions? I know I kind of moved through that very quickly.
What do you do with all this data? I love data.
You love data?
I love data.
I love data too, so
Yeah.
it's,
So the more we go
I'm
year over
intrigued.
year, the data will continue to build. So the next year we'll have reference from 24 to 25. We'll be able to see how our call numbers are changing year to year.
Any other questions of the chief? Thanks, chief.
All right.
Nice job, chief. A lot of information there.
Okay, next presentation is from Moore and Brugink for an update on Green Street and Market Street project.
Good evening. Appreciate your time. My name is Ryan Ahrens with Moore and Brugink. Been working with some of the city staff, I think since about 2023 on the Green Street and Market Street Improvements Project. And I do have a brief PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to run through. I think some of you who were at our open house, we had an open house informational meeting on the project last June, have seen much of this information. It's the same PowerPoint with the dates updated. If you could go to slide number 2, basically going to cover the where, the when, and the what for the project. Next slide, please. Did you go one too far? Or no, you're good. So the projects are essentially 2 projects that are going to be one large project. Green Street, the limits are from Fish Hatchery Park to Broadway Street, and Market Street, the limits are from Green Street to State Street. So the 2 projects, like I mentioned, overlap each other, and for economies of scale, they would be bid out together. As I mentioned, the design, I think we started back in 2023. We completed it in late 24. The permitting through the state, so Eagle for the water and sewer permits, that was completed earlier this year. The plan would be to advertise the project for bids here in April, and then open bids sometime mid to late May. And then construction, we're going to bid the project and give contractors the option to build a portion of it this construction season, so July through November, and then the remainder next construction season, so about April through July, or construct the entire project in 2026, so April through November. The reason we're going to do that is many contractors have expressed the fact that they're already full for this construction season. So to get more competitive bids, we would open the window up to complete it. We would give the contractor the same amount of days. So if they chose to start it this year, the completion date would be July of 26. If they chose to start it next year, the completion date would be November of 26. Next slide, please. The infrastructure, the what's going to happen. These are basically total reconstruction projects, so your street surface is going to go away. The infrastructure underneath, your storm sewer, your sanitary sewer, your water main, they're all going to be replaced. And then the services to the home, so the water service, the sanitary sewer lateral, those will all be replaced as well. After all the underground work is complete, the road is reconstructed, so new concrete curb and gutter, sidewalks, drive approaches, and then a new asphalt roadway. Next slide, please. One of the big driving forces behind this, not only is the infrastructure aging, but Eagle is requiring statewide that all lead services are phased out. A lead water service obviously is detrimental to the health of children. You know, we got to get lead out of our drinking water. Most homes built prior to 1986, there's a good probability that their water service is considered a lead line. The city do have record of, I think, majority of them. You provided us that list. Many of the homes along Green and Market were on that list. So this will include not only the replacement of the water service in the right-of-way, so from the water main that's in the road to the right-of-way line, but will also include from the curb stop box at the right-of-way line all the way into the house. So this is a state mandate from Eagle to replace it all the way into the house. With that, we would upgrade the meter install on the interior of the building, so it will require access into the home. There is an authorization form that we have all the residents complete to grant access. So that's another important aspect of this project is the lead service line replacements. Next slide, please. A little bit deeper dive into Green Street. As I mentioned, the limits are from just west of Fish Hatchery Park to Broadway Street. Project scope on Green. There's dual storm sewers. There's 2 storm sewers in Green Street right now, and there's dual sanitary sewers. So there's redundancy which is a maintenance headache and in the long run is a large maintenance cost for you as the city. So we're going to eliminate those, put in one storm sewer that can handle everything, one sanitary sewer that can handle everything. The water main is actually not all that old in Green Street. So the only water work would be the lead service line replacement. The water main itself will remain intact. The road improvements, as I mentioned, will include new concrete curb and gutter, new sidewalk. The road right now is about 26 feet wide. We're going to put it back as 30 feet wide. Right now there's two 13-foot lanes. We're going to put back two 11-foot lanes and then 4-foot bike lanes on both sides outside shoulders. So there'll be a center line pavement marking and then white edge lines to delineate the bike lane as well. A couple of other design facets to note. There's quite a bit of pedestrian traffic that crosses the road to the hospital. So we're going to widen the road a little bit wider there and put in a center pedestrian island that's 4 to 5 feet wide, kind of a safe haven for people to cross during the busier times. We're also going to install rapid rectangular flashing beacons, which are push-button activated signs that flash to warn the motoring public that, hey, somebody's entering the crosswalk. So there'll be one on each side of the road there. Another design note, the intersection of Green and Market, we are going to install a mini roundabout there as a traffic calming measure. It's the size of it's a 75-foot inscribed radius as far as the diameter goes. The curb in the center island is mountable, so truck traffic can still navigate it, but it does act as a traffic calming measure, and it helps kind of relieve congestion, keep traffic moving. So those are a couple of design notes on that one. If you could go to the next slide, please. Market Street, very similar in scope, a little deeper dive into this one. There's dual storm sewers, very large, 2 large storm sewers in Market. We are going to eliminate one of those and put one even bigger storm sewer in that can handle everything. Sanitary sewer will be updated. Water, the water main will be removed and replaced in Market Street. It is of an age where it is due for replacement. So with that replacement, the lead service lines will also be replaced from the new water main all the way into the home. And then road improvements on Market. Right now the road's about 36 feet wide, basically 2 through lanes and then alternating center left turn lanes. We are going to put the road back at about 39.5 feet wide. We're going to maintain 3 10.5-foot lanes, so you're still going to have your 2 through lanes in your center left that are alternate depending on where you're at, but then we're also going to construct the 4-foot bike lanes on both sides of the road there as well. Next slide, please. How does this affect me? Well, you as members of the City Council, if you don't live within the project limits, it may not really impact you, but as a resident there, next slide, please. The things that you can expect, the detour or traffic is going to be detoured. So we need to close the roads in order to construct the project. We're going to do staged construction. There'll be 4 stages. Stage 1 with anytime you build utilities in gravity pipes, so gravity storm sewer, gravity sanitary sewer, you always build from the low point to the high point. So Market Street would be phase 1, build from basically State Street up. Phase 2, we would do the easterly portion of Green Street from Market to Broadway. Phase 3 would be from Market to about the hospital, and then phase 4 would be from the hospital past Fish Hatchery Park. And the reason we would do it in stages like that is to maintain access at all times for the hospital, which is a very important thing. And then also, basically, we want to not have everything all ripped up at one time. So that's an important thing to note as far as how the staging is set up. As I mentioned, parking, road access, it's going to be difficult at times. The contractor does at all times have to maintain access for the residents that live within the work limits. There may be times that residents can only go left out of their driveway or only go right out of their driveway depending on where the trench is, where the work's at. But at all times, got to maintain the residents. Emergency services have to be maintained at all times. Mail delivery, trash, recycling, all that needs to be maintained. As I mentioned, there will be interior access at each resident for the water service work that's going to be done on the inside of the homes for the meters and the new water service that's going to penetrate the generally basement foundation. On here I put possible interruptions to services such as cable, gas, electric, phone. I say possible because anytime you're working underground, stuff can be mismarked, not marked, stuff gets hit. People are going to get their cable cut, that type of thing. It happens. It's not a perfect, construction is by no means perfect. So that's something to note, that when it does happen, we contact the appropriate utility company, have them get it repaired as soon as possible, but there can be interruptions. The other thing to note, there will be some interruptions, more so than for water than sewer, but when we construct the new water main, there's a portion of time, when you replace a water main, you build the new main right next to the old main, and you keep both mains for a portion of time live, so you're never out of water for very long. But the time when they put your new service on the new main, there is a shutdown period of 3 to 4 hours where they have to do that. And then there'll be another shutdown period when they tie the new main back to the old main and disconnect everything. So there are some service interruptions. They're brief. We do notice the residents, give them a day or two notice on that, and generally those are 3 to 4 hours. Next slide, please. More impacts or effects of the project. There's yard disruptions. Your front yard, mainly the area between the sidewalk and the curb is going to get disturbed. If you have landscaping there, if you have irrigation, if you have trees, there's a good chance it's going to get destroyed as part of the project. There are tree removals that are set up. Some of the trees are way too close to the road, and with the road being widened a little bit, they are going to be a casualty of construction. We are, I will say, on Green Street, widening the road a little bit more on the south side of the road than we are on the north side of the road, because there are several very, very large trees on the north side, and we're trying to save the majority of those. So the 4 foot of widening we're doing 3 foot on the south side, 1 foot on the north side when the widening happens. The other thing I mentioned, most all driveway aprons, so the driveway approach between the curb and the sidewalk will be removed and replaced with new concrete. So that's another thing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to be a disruption, and not going to be fun for the construction season. Next slide, please. Other things to expect, as I mentioned, it's not going to be fun. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's noise, there's vibration. There's areas where we're going to have to de-water because the groundwater's higher on Market Street. So there'll be pumps, and those pumps have to run continuously. They'll run overnight at times. They're not extremely loud, but it's a low hum, and we need to do that in order to drop the groundwater table to a low enough elevation that we can install the new utilities. With any construction project, there's going to be dust. There's going to be dirt. It's going to be as if the residents are living on a dirt road for a period of time. We do hold the contractor accountable. We make sure they complete dust control, they water the grade, that type of thing. But there will be dust and dirt. Another thing to be aware of is vibration. We generally try and tell residents, hey, if you have something hanging on the walls that's sentimental, that's breakable, take it down. I mean, there is very large equipment out there. When they start doing density, trying to get compaction on the sand, the gravel, in the asphalt, I mean, they use vibratory rollers. I mean, they shake the earth to get density. So that's another thing to keep and be mindful of. Next slide, please. My contact information is here. This was provided at the informational meeting. If you do have questions after I'm gone this evening that you wish you would have asked, by all means reach out to me, try and get them answered, and go from there. Next slide, please. Questions?
I'm sure there's a lot of questions. Let's start down there, Terry.
I have none.
I have none. Gordon?
I don't have anything I can think of right now.
So I understand that consumers are going to start doing gas main repairs. Are there, and because you're talking about moving on the north side, the first, I guess from Broadway to Market Street, you're going to be widening it more on the south side or the north side, or both the same?
It's gonna, nope, from Market to Broadway, the widening's generally equal both sides of the road. from Market
Market
to the hospital, that's where we're widening more on the south side of the road, because there are several, I mean,
But
there's,
my question on that though, is you have trees on the north side, but you got utility poles all the way down through on the south side.
Yep.
Does consumers plan on coming in there long before you do anything and moving?
yes, yep. So we've been in coordination with consumers. We have a list of every pole, every guy wire, every phone pedestal that needs to be relocated. We have started the utility relocation process, so.
Okay.
And that's what flagged consumers' gas side of things to know about the project and to get in there ahead of us to upgrade their gas main as well.
Well, I think it's great they're doing it, 'cause I remember back in the late 60s when they did the 5-lane down through here, they put all fresh new concrete in down there. About a month afterwards, consumers down there boring holes in it, repairing their gas lines, so I don't wanna see that. But, did you mention sidewalk?
Yes, sidewalk is set up to be replaced. So the entirety from the project limit, from the westerly project limit to the easterly project limit, with how many cuts we're gonna make through it with the water services and the sanitary sewer laterals, it would be like quilt work. So we have it budgeted to totally replace the sidewalk as part of the project.
Even where there's no sidewalk now? And I know somebody's gonna ask me
In
that.
some areas, yes. On Market, specifically from Green going down the hill, there's not any room
No,
on the
no.
east side of the road. We're
I'm
not
talking
putting,
about the south side of Green Street by the hospital, there's no sidewalk there.
so we are gonna, it's gonna terminate, there's
Well,
a,
there is partway.
it's gonna terminate right near the hospital. It's not gonna continue all the way down the hill.
Okay. Questions, Becky?
Yeah, I do have a question. Exactly how far past Fish Hatchery Park is it going?
Couple of 100 feet. I do have the detailed plans here, if anybody would like to look at specific areas. But yeah, I can tell you. If I may.
Does it go to Ironside Drive?
No.
Okay.
I think it goes far from there. I thought they were stopping at the bridge.
So here is the entrance to Fish Hatchery, so it's literally 100 feet past it.
Oh, okay.
So there's two residents, resident here, and I think Ironside Drive's down here just a little bit.
Right. Okay, that's all I need to know. And I have one other question too. When you talked about the crosswalk from the parking for the hospital,
Yes.
so could you tell me that again? It's going to be
So we're gonna widen the road.
push button activated so that there's triangle lights that indicate that people are in the crosswalk.
Yes, so we're doing twofold. We're widening the road there enough to put a center concrete island in. And then also installing, they're called rapid rectangular flashing beacons.
Okay.
They're solar powered, they're push button activated, they're a 4x4 sign that you push the button and it starts flashing, blinking at you. There'll be one facing each direction. No matter which side of the road you push it on, both of them go off.
Okay. I was just thinking about Broadway.
Oh,
That type of a,
improving that crossing.
yeah, contraption there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's all I had, thank you. Nice presentation.
Ann?
Okay, when you were talking about the replacement of, some of the lead lines,
Yep.
will it be every one, or do you have ones that are stipulated on your plans?
We have ones that are stipulated.
That the
We were
city
provided,
has?
yep, we were
Okay.
provided a list. Some of them have been updated, not very many,
I know.
but some of them have been. So those ones that are updated and meet the new rule, we're not gonna replace those.
Okay, gotcha. I think that's all. You were very thorough, thank you.
Question, John?
I think he's answered about everything
Yeah.
I've had.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I had one other question. Are we gonna share that information with the community at all, like Facebook, Instagram, anything like that?
See you, Dave.
Website?
Yeah, we had a presentation for people who lived in that
Mhm.
Typically, geez, about a year ago now.
It was June.
It was June. Feels like a long time. So, so we had that information out there. After it's out to bid and we know who's going to be the contractor, we'll have a better idea of what they're planning for the timeline. Then we'll reach out again with more detailed information.
Okay. I've had a lot of questions about it lately, so I was just.
Sure, yeah, especially because consumers has activity out
Right.
there. They're starting that, so people are starting to notice that and wondering what's going on. But we don't know right now if construction's gonna start in July or next April.
Right.
So, that's really what people wanna know is when is this happening? How should I plan my life around this?
Right.
So once we
Okay.
get that information, we'll, send out letters. We have some direct contact information from people who came to the open house and gave their addresses and information so we can contact them directly.
Awesome.
But we'll have other information available as well for
Great.
people who weren't able to.
Thank you. Okay, sorry for.
That's all right, that's all right. Okay, moving forward, we'd like to schedule a budget workshop for Monday, April 28th at 6 o'clock. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by McLean, supported by Stencil Barton, to schedule a budget workshop for Monday, April 28th at 6 p.m., not 6 a.m., 6 p.m.
I hope you're bringing the
Any questions
donuts.
or anything?
AM works better for me, but.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Okay, in your packet, you have 5 invoices totaling $122,975. These are for various things that were previously approved.
I'll make the motion to,
Accept, place on file.
yes.
Motion by McLean, do I hear support?
I'll support it.
Okay, motion by McLean, supported by Brem, to receive and place on file 5 invoices totaling $122,975. Roll call.
Brem,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Senselberg,
Yes?
Deveroy,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Items of business, motion to approve the purchase and installation of 4 doors by Discount Lock and Door in the amount of $5,250 to be installed at the old Waterworks building.
I'll make that motion, sir. Support?
Okay, motion by Barlow, supported by Brem, to approve the purchase and installation of 4 doors by Discount Lock and Door in the amount of $5,250 to be installed at the old Waterworks building to help secure that building. Any questions?
Oh, yes, I do have a question.
Go ahead.
The financial implications, the cost is split between the water fund and other funds. What are the other funds?
They're all out of the general fund, the different departments that are financed out of the general fund, and that's because we store our documents there.
Okay. Not just City Hall, I mean, all departments store their stuff there.
I don't think the police have
I
anything.
don't think the police do. He's got a nice new trailer for
Charge
that.
him anyway. Charge him anyway.
It's at my house.
There you go.
Anyhow.
Next to your Corvette.
Okay, that's the only question I have.
For
Any oth-
multiple departments.
Any other questions? That building for years, you know, it's been, we've tried renting it out, we tried to use for other things, but it comes right down to it, we always store all our excess stuff over there. Files we have to keep, maybe some used equipment we don't want to get rid of. I think at one time we had Christmas decorations in there, so every department uses it. But what's always surprised me is I don't think anybody's ever broke into that building, and I'm surprised because those doors that are on there right now are from the original use of that
Yes.
Oh,
building.
my
The
goodness.
only thing I think has ever been changed is the overhead door.
Huh.
Enough talk about that? Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion by Barlow, supported by Brem, to approve the purchase and installation of 4 doors by Discount Lock and Door in the amount of $5,250. No further discussion, roll call.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Deveroy,
Yes.
Senselberg,
Yes?
Brem,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Item B, motion to approve the proposal from Trojan to purchase new bulbs for the wastewater UV system in the amount of $9,602.88. Do I hear a
I'll make
motion?
that motion, Your Honor.
Support.
Okay, motion by Rezegi, supported by McLean, to approve the purchase of new bulbs for the wastewater UV system in the amount of $9,602.88, purchased from Trojan. Any questions?
I do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
A couple of things I read. One was you replaced the other bank a couple of years ago when it says they're used at 10,000 to 12,000 hours, which would change out every bank every 14 months. So how's it, are we changing it enough? Are we not changing it enough? Or I have no idea.
I have no idea either, and Vern's not here.
So I know the last time that we changed them out, we used bulbs, we tried to get a source of less expensive options. We didn't get them from the manufacturer, we got them from another source, and they didn't work out as well. So I know that they didn't last as long. So I don't know if that's related to the time difference or not.
Well, at $9,600, the reason you'd have to use it again in 14 months, another $9,600 for another bank, correct? Is that what I understand?
I don't know that the math works out quite that easily, but.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Well, I have two questions. Is this something that, or why did we not budget for?
Like that,
Just
It
says,
seems like quite an expensive purchase.
So, it's just not represented as its own item, and we've had a number of projects that we've done that weren't planned. So sometimes, like, we'll plan the budget and we'll plan it based on doing, let's say, 3 projects or 3 repairs. Well, then new things come up and we have to do those sooner. Well, then the things you budgeted for aren't budgeted anymore. So in the particular line item that this would come out of, there's no more remaining funds. But there are a number of projects that we did plan on doing this year that we can't do in this fiscal year. Largely related to how long it's taken to plan some of those projects, get through the engineering phase or get the Part 41 permit from the state. Those things have been delayed. So instead of not doing anything and having that extra money and then planning something like this, say after July, we might as well do this now, get it going, when we know that those projects that we had budgeted for this year can get pushed into the next fiscal year. So we're kind of rotating things around to keep projects moving.
So the funds that we're using from the deferred projects, is that going to impact those deferred projects in the long run?
What do you mean by that?
Because we're using the money from those projects now instead of using them later on down the
Yeah,
road.
but instead of budgeting for the UV bulbs and say to do that next fiscal year, we're doing it this fiscal year. So it's just
Okay. I figured that was the case, but I just wanted that to be set up.
Right. No, I appreciate that.
Okay, that's it.
any other questions?
Just a little clarification. You are trying to get it so that you're not replacing both banks of lights, but is the 9,600 for purchasing all the bulbs that's required for both banks? I'm kind of confused. Just
If I
one bank?
I'm sorry. If I understood it, one bank is 24 bulbs, correct?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we don't have.
Yes. Because 2 banks have 24 each bank.
Yeah.
That is correct.
So is the 9,600 just for 24?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Everything you look at down the sewer plant's pretty expensive. The water and the sewer plant, they're really expensive.
Yeah.
That's why they don't. Fern doesn't want to buy them all at one time. That's why he wants to rotate them.
We do the same thing with our wells. We only work on so many wells, but we rotate them too. That's kind of why we're doing these, next item.
And like I said, we had looked at lower cost bulbs from another supplier.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just didn't work out as well.
Okay.
So buying it from the manufacturer is just, it's worked better that
Okay.
way, so.
And
we're
these
going
new
with
bulbs
that.
are coming from the manufacturer?
Yeah. Trojan is the brand of the UV light system.
Hmm.
Any other questions? Roll call.
McLean,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Senzel Barton,
Yes?
Brem,
Yes.
Devereaux,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, next item, item C, motion to approve Roar Gasoline Equipment Company to make repairs to our fuel island not to exceed $14,805.05. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Support.
Okay, motion by Senzel Barton, supported by McLean, to approve Roar Gasoline Equipment Company's price of $14,805.05 to repair the fuel system at the fire department. Questions?
I have one. Is there right now any danger of leakage into the water supply with the leakage?
No. So what it is, it's a dip tube that the monitors sit in, and it has a tube that goes down to the tank. The dip tube is starting to rot. So now if we were to get a large amount of rain and it gets into the pit, it actually has the opportunity to get down into the fuel tank.
Then that'll get into your vehicles.
I understand.
Yeah.
There's no threat to the environment, it's
No.
more to the vehicles.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Any other questions? A motion was made by Senzel Barton, supported by somebody, can't read my right.
McLean.
I got it, I finally figured it out. Motion by Senzel Barton, supported by McLean, to approve the purchase for repairs to the fuel island and not to exceed $14,805 to Roar Gasoline Equipment Company. No further questions, roll call.
Barlow,
Yes.
Devereaux,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Senzel Barton,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, the next item, and it might be a little, I wasn't asked the question today, but we have a proposal from Integrated Controls for the purchase and installation of 3 Signet insertion flow meters on wells 1, 3, and 4 for $18,769.61. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I make that motion.
I'll support it.
Okay, motion by Devereaux, supported by Brem, to approve a proposal from Integrated Controls for the purchase and the installation of 3 Signet insertion flow meters on wells 1, 3, 4 for $18,769.61. Questions?
I have a note here that says plus installation for a total of $23,005. Mine, I'm sorry, I'm skipping.
You got something I don't have.
Did I misread something somewhere? This is
So, I'm
18,000.
gonna take a guess. So, at the last meeting, when this came up, we were looking at buying it from another supplier and having ICI do the install, and that was going to be in addition to the cost of the meter. But this $18,769.61 is their total, so it's the meter and the install.
I see the logo difference
So
now.
that's probably,
Yeah, they were the same color and I didn't look at them.
We
All right, I
had
gotcha.
two bids here. The reason this came back up is Peerless was the one that got the bid last time. Well, when we got ready to order the material, found out it's the wrong parts. So then, when they come up with the right parts, then their price went up. So we went back to the original price that, the only thing I was looking at on here, the subject on the agenda item was filter media automatic flushing. So I questioned that, but that's the reason why, is because they found out after we awarded the bid the last time that the company that bid on, they didn't have the right parts.
Right,
So
I
we
understand.
re-priced it out, and then, these people here are the ones that do the work, and they're the ones that are gonna program it, right, Sarah?
correct.
Okay. Any other questions?
To me, it was the same color logo.
Yeah.
And so I didn't look at it. I got it.
Yep.
That's total 18,000 out the door, 18,700.
$18,769.61.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion by Devereaux, supported by Brem, to approve Integrated Controls for the purchase and installation of 3 Signet insertion flow meters on well 1, 3, and 4 for $18,769.61. No further comments, roll call.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Devereaux,
Yes.
Senzel Barton,
Yes?
Barlow,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, item E, motion to approve root control for approximately 10,428 feet of sanitary sewer line from Perceptive Services and Operation, the amount of $28,677. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion, sir.
Support.
Okay, motion by Barlow, supported by Rezegi, to approve root control for approximately 10,428 feet of sanitary sewer main line for this bid is from Perceptive Services and Operation in the amount of $28,677. Questions?
How much of this line does it complete for the city? It's not all of our line.
This is a small amount.
10,428
Yeah.
feet.
But my guess is probably in the areas where we're having the most problems.
Where is it?
It's in areas that we've had cameraed before when Consumers was doing some work up there. They cameraed the lines for us. And those are the ones that came up that seem to be the worst, recurring ones. So we're gonna start there, and then I'm gonna try and kind of branch out a little bit as we go and try and get a regular program going. Kind of
What
on a
area
base.
did you say, Rob?
What's that?
What area did you say?
Mostly up in First Ward area, up around Colfax, Wilson Street, Grant Street.
Oh.
There are a few over here on Grand Street, West Grand. There's some over on Second Ward over by Montgomery and stuff like that.
Okay.
They're just kind of all over. And I'm gonna
Right.
try and set up a program so that we can set up and get something done. We're also gonna try and build a map on our ARC system, GIS, so that we can mark these off as we go, so we kind of know where we're at.
Nice.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, motion was made by Barlow, supported by Rezegi to approve root control for approximately 10,428 feet of sanitary sewer main by Perceptive Services and Operation in the amount of $28,677. I'll just kind of add something in there. We used to have, back in the day, we had around 50 problem sewers we had that we used to ride every 30, 60, 90 days, and I assume probably a lot of those are on that list, I bet. But anyhow, any other questions? Roll call.
DeVroy.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Barlow.
Yes.
Senselbart.
Yes.
Rezegi.
Yes.
Brem.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, next item, motion to approve a quote from Detroit Pump for the purchase of an aluminum sulfate heater pump skid in the amount of $31,685. I hear a motion.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Support.
Okay, motion by Senselbarton, supported by McLean to approve purchase of aluminum sulfate heater pump skid in the amount of $31,685 from Detroit Pump Company. Questions?
What is it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Go ahead, John.
Can I use it?
Who uses it?
So the wastewater treatment plant, so, we use alum to reduce the phosphorus that's in the wastewater before it goes back into the river. And the tank's fairly old. We've had issues in the past with the heater going out. The heat system is in place in the tank in the bottom. So if they need to do a replacement, they're cutting into the tank. It's very substantial work. So they've come up with a workaround to achieve the same effect without having those issues if the heater goes out. So this is a project we've been working on for a very long time, but we've been waiting on the state for the Part 41 permit. We finally got that through, and so we're ready to make the purchase and get it installed.
Alum? Sulfuric acid. This is someplace that's got air treatment as well?
Sewer plant, yeah.
Right. We're not letting any sulfuric acid fumes out.
I can't imagine that that's something we would do.
I would hope not. I mean, I can, but you can't.
There's no gas in the sewer plant.
I'm not doing
There's,
anything with the chemicals, that's always better.
so I'm trying to think of how this thing would work.
You should take a tour, it's really cool.
Yeah, and you can look at those UV lights way down there.
Hey, let's schedule a tour.
Take a
Well, you're welcome anytime. Get a hold of Vern or Rob. Rob will take you down there.
Include me, I'd like to go.
You got 3 of us.
Any other questions?
This is something we absolutely positively need.
Yeah.
System don't work without it down there.
All right.
Last winter, the heater did go out, and we had to keep the alum warm enough to actually be able to, yeah, it was a big problem.
Well, that tank sits outside down there.
Right, yeah.
Well, that's one of the issues, and it's a fiberglass tank. So imagine any amount of cold absorbs into that fiberglass, and whatever's in that tank can freeze unless there's a heater in there. Any other questions? Roll call.
Senselberg,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
I'd like to think.
Rezegi,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Deborah,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Item G, motion to approve the milling and patching of West Woodlawn Avenue from Lakeland Asphalt for $49,900. Do I hear a motion?
I make that motion.
Support.
Okay, motion by Devroy, supported by Rezegi, to approve milling and patching of West Woodlawn Avenue by Lakeland Asphalt for $49,900. Questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So again, I'm gonna go back to the financial implications. There are accounts that can be utilized for this project that have extra funds in them, or funds that have not been used this year.
We don't have money for road repairs in local streets. We just don't.
Right.
So there are items that were budgeted that haven't been used for sidewalks, for curb and gutter repair, for small maintenance patches that we don't anticipate doing that work. Instead, we're going to try to do this. So this particular section of road has failed. It is
Awful.
It's truly awful.
Just to say the least.
And we're not
Dirt
even
road.
milling and resurfacing the whole road, we're just doing the worst part of it and patching the rest of it. We had initially gotten a quote for patching, just patching, but there were so many patches and the rest of the road is so bad that we were concerned it wouldn't even work. Like there's nothing for it to even hold on to.
Okay.
So this wasn't a planned project. We're cobbling some things together to make this work because of how bad this particular road is.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I'm sorry. You really did say, we're just cobbling this together. I really don't like that. I know it.
I'm gonna use other words at our budget meeting that are gonna sound worse than cobble. Our road funds are in very dire shape.
I
To
understand.
do that road right up there needs to be milled the whole length of it, and parts of it are really bad. If you come off of
It looks like it's
North
bad.
Broadway onto West Woodlawn Avenue, you get 30 feet down the road and you're in a big pothole. You know, they spent a lot of time repairing that. The problem up there is from curb to curb, gutter pan to gutter pan, the road is just shot.
Rob, how many times are you guys out there filling holes?
So far this year, we've spent about 10 hours altogether out there, and
Yeah.
probably,
This the
about
pictures we're
6
looking at?
what's that?
These are the pictures we're looking at?
Yeah, and those are just a few. I
Those
could've added a
pictures
lot
don't
more.
even show how bad it is.
Just drive it once.
I just
Yeah.
don't like to
Take
cobble
your new
things
truck down.
together.
Well, that's a word. What we're gonna do is the first 530 feet is gonna be fixed the way it needs to be fixed. The rest of it past where the driveway goes in the health department isn't as bad as the first. It's bad, but not as bad as the first section. So we're gonna fix that. They're gonna go in there, they're gonna mill some of those areas out and patch them that are bad the rest of the way down through there. They're not gonna resurface the whole street. It's like I say, it's an emergency and there's no way we could afford to do the whole street. I had somebody ask me the other day, how come we're not doing more of State Street? Well, if we did State Street the way we'd like to do it, we couldn't afford that either. We either get up there and do part of it, or none at all, you know, but, this road is, I've never seen, and I think what happened originally, you know, there wasn't much up there when they put that road in. And the health department moved in there, the departments moved in there, all those condos went in there. When that road was originally put in there, it was like 2-inch asphalt, wasn't it, Rob?
Yes.
So it's real thin, so what's happening is now, if you mill it, you gotta be real careful with milling it, because you gotta keep a little bit of blacktop there. I think the road from the driveway to the health department going the other way hasn't been torn up as bad. So we can go in there and mill that a little bit and patch it. I think it'll hold up.
So you're saying this is the best option of all the bad options we have?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And when we get in the budget, she'll show you that we have no money for local, and that's considered local street. So, you know, but anyhow, any further comments?
Yeah, I'm up there weekly, and it is literally like a gravel road up there. It's awful. And I take a chance with my car every day when I'm driving up there.
Any other comments?
It's bad.
Okay, motion was made by Devroy, supported by Rezegi, excuse me. To mill and patch West Woodland Avenue from Lakeland asphalt for $49,900. No further comments? Roll call.
Barlow.
Yes.
Deveroy.
Yes.
Rezegi.
Yes.
Senselbar.
Yes.
Brem.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Next item in your packet, item H, you have a proposal from Fox Ford for a 2024 Ford F-250 4x4 crew cab pickup and uplift of the vehicle from truck and trailer specialist in the total amount of $56,589. Do I hear a motion?
Make the motion.
Support.
Motion by Brem, supported by McLean, to approve the purchase of a 2024 Ford F-250 4x4 crew cab pickup and uplift a vehicle from Truck and Trailer Specialists in a total amount of $56,589. And that was from Fox Ford. Questions?
As a matter of fact, if we wait 90 days, we can get it for $1,000 cheaper. Is that what I understood when I read that?
90 to
90 to
120 days. It's closer to 120.
I'd like to save any money we can. Is the truck needed that desperately now, or would that be saving $1,000 be worth something?
Well, with the way tariffs and everything are going now, like everything else, I think it's a lot better to get it now than it is.
So these
to
prices
wait.
aren't locked in. If you got the one from Lughammer or Lug, whatever, that wouldn't be locked in.
They are locked in, but they also put the cutoff date in there to be determined. So if it doesn't get here by the 90 or the 120 days, they can go back into my deal and redo it again, which comes into a confusing deal. I mean, if that's what council wishes to do, then, that's what we'll do. But I think budget-wise, we budgeted $90,000 originally for this vehicle, for the whole thing, to be upfitted and purchased.
So basically, the $984 is the cost of uncertainty right now?
I had a headache.
I know.
Okay. Any other questions?
What are they gonna use this truck for? What is it used for?
So this truck is used for, we got 3 lift stations in the city. It maintains them. It maintains the lake sewer for residents. I can't think of what I'm trying to say. But the sewers go around Middle Lake and Leech Lake. Their tanks and stuff, they maintain them. All his parts. They also haul a pressure washer in the back of it, so when they do have to go out to them tanks. So it is utilized quite a bit. We're just trying to downsize a little bit from the truck that's currently there, because the truck that's currently there is a diesel, and it's bound here pretty soon to get a lot of emissions because of the idle time. It doesn't run long enough to get it hot enough. So on that one's 12 years old, I believe.
Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion by Brem and supported by McLean to approve the purchase from Fox Ford for 2024 Ford F-250 4x4 crew cab pickup and uplift of the vehicle from truck and trailer specialist, total amount of $56,589. No further comments, roll call.
McLean,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Devereux,
Yes.
Senselberg,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. In your packet, you have a motion under, or you have, I want you to approve a motion under direction of staff, the request from Downtown Business Team to conduct 3 separate block party street dances from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. on Saturday, May 10th, Saturday, July 12th, and Saturday, August 9th, 2025, and consent to street closures on respective dates. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion, sir. Support.
Okay, a motion by Barlow, supported by Brem, to approve the request from the Downtown Business Team, conduct 3 separate block party street dances from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday, May 10th, Saturday, July 12th, and Saturday, August 9th, 2025, and approve consent to street closures on those respective dates. Comments?
I really like their drawings that they included. But other than that, these are the same sorts of events that they did last year. And I think that they went over pretty well.
Well, what they wanted to do this year, last year they had it pretty much just on Jefferson Street. This year they want to be in front of the other restaurants, Church Street and
Right.
Main Street. So
And
I
all
think
the
it's great.
businesses have said, yeah, let's do this?
Yep. You want to talk to them, didn't you? Anyhow.
I don't just stand around and look pretty.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Any further comment? Roll call.
Brem,
Yes.
Devereux,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Definitely.
Senselberg,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, in your packet, resolution I need a motion to adopt resolution 2025-10, notice of intent to issue bonds. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Okay, motion by Brem, supported by McLean, to adopt resolution 2025-10, notice of intent to issue bonds. Questions? Roll call.
Barlow,
Yes.
Devereux,
Yes.
Senselberg,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Item K, entertain a motion to adopt resolution 2025-11 to designate Rob Neal street superintendent as the City of Hastings street administrator.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
I'll support it.
Okay, motion by Barton, supported by Devereux, to adopt resolution 2025-11 to designate Rob Neal street superintendent as the City of Hastings street administrator. Any questions? Roll call.
Barlow,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Senselberg,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Devereux,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Item 11, motion to authorize the merger of Division HC into Division HB of the City of Hastings MERS hybrid plan.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Okay, motion by Rezegi, supported by McLean, to authorize the merger of Division HC into Division HB of the City of Hastings MERS hybrid plan. Questions? Everybody knows what that is, right?
I do now.
Yeah. More than I wanted to know.
Okay,
It's thorough.
no further comment, roll call.
Brem,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Senselberg,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Deborah.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Item M, entertain a motion to approve under direction of staff the 14th annual Berry Berry event to be held at Titan Park on Saturday, June 7th, 2025, from 9 a.m. until noon. This request includes the entire park and both pavilions.
I'll make that motion. Support.
Okay, motion by McLean, supported by Devroy, to approve the request to hold the 14th annual Very Berry Family Event in Titan Park on Saturday, June 7th, 2025, from 9 a.m. till noon. The request includes the use of the entire park and both pavilions. Any questions? Roll call.
Deborah.
Yes.
Residue.
Yes.
Barlow.
Yes.
Brem.
Yes.
Senselbart.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Entertain a motion to schedule Bachman Field Plan Unit Development and final site plan review public hearing on Monday, May 12th, 2025 at 7 o'clock. Your motion?
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Support.
Okay, motion by Stenselbar, supported by Rezegay to schedule Bachman Field Plan Unit Development and final site plan review public hearing on Monday, May 12th, 2025 at 7 o'clock. Any questions? Roll call.
Deborah.
Yes.
Residue.
Yes.
Brem.
Yes.
Senselbart.
Yes.
Barlow.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Next item, motion to authorize an amendment to the contract with Mercy Ambulance to pay $7,792 monthly for ambulance service effective May 25th through the end of the contract. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Brem, supported by Barlow, to authorize an amendment to the contract with Mercy Ambulance to pay $7,792 monthly for ambulance service effective May 25th through the end of the contract. Questions?
When does the contract end? Oh, sorry.
January 1st of 27, so really through the end of next year.
And this is, we're gonna pay them $7,700 more monthly over what we agreed to in the contract.
We're currently not contributing any funds.
Oh. We've talked about this before in council.
Yeah, this has come up several times over the years, on and off. So several years ago, we and the other townships, but also contributed some capital funds towards some ambulance improvements and equipment improvements. When this contract period started, there was quite a bit of discussion about the potential for them needing some financial contribution as a part of the contract. There were some changes at the state level that impacted some things, and they felt like they didn't want to have to ask us for funds at that time, and they were hoping to be able to make it through the contract without needing that. PMS is in difficult, challenging times throughout the country for a variety of reasons, and we're not in a different place. So there are a lot of communities that contribute financially for EMS service. Many have villages for it. We aren't in a position where we need that now. There's a lot of variables between service providers and things that affect cost. But at this point, and you'll see the next item is to evaluate different options for the long run. But really, this is something that helps us sustain service here in our community for the short term while we
Through the end of next year.
evaluate other options, correct.
Do they use, well, I guess I can just ask you.
You can ask me.
Do you use the same software as the fire department?
No, we do not. We, our system is interlaced with our dispatch and our billing. We're totally separate from the fire department as far as reporting. But every run we do goes into a state database. So, but it doesn't break it down into graphs like what Chief was able to provide you for. But if there's anything you want to know in the minutia, I'd be more than happy to try to answer that.
Okay. So my next question is there any expectation for Mercy Ambulance to report to us in any fashion, yearly or even, I mean, on a quarterly basis about what they're doing and what they're servicing in our community for that amount of money?
So, you know, historically, Rodney's come to Birch meetings that we have, not exactly quarterly, but about 4 times a year. And he has space to provide a general update. As far as, like, specific numbers of things, I don't know that he's done that in the past. That's not to say he couldn't. If there's specific information that you want reported, I'm happy to relay that to them.
Well, I guess my next question, Chief, is there other communities that use the same software as far as EMS, fire? And maybe that leads into the next bullet point about the emergency medical services. So that's kind of where I'm going with that, is like, I want there to be some kind of expectation of Mercy if we're going to give them and support them in that aspect. Like, the information that Chief Jordan provided was very good, I think, for the community in general, but for all of us sitting here, it would be nice to have the same sort of presentation from the or from Mercy Ambulance if we're going to support them in that way. That's all I'm asking.
Sure, I can let them know that you're requesting some additional reporting on an ongoing basis so that there's better communication about
Yes,
what's going on.
that would be great.
And I think that makes sense, given that there would be a financial component.
I think that's where I fell with it too. I saw some of their numbers, but I didn't feel like a lot of it answered the reasons why there was the need as much. It wasn't broken down as much, and I was just curious.
So I don't know what we would definitely love to give you that information, but why we're in the state we're in is pretty simple. We're fee-based only. We do not get a millage. We do not get a subsidy. When we were just discussing what happened a few years ago with the state where they brought the Medicare, Medicaid rates up to parity, that allowed us to bill for a little bit more. But here we are in 2025, we're still operating on essentially 48 cents on the dollar. So the rest of that gets written off as bad debt. And that's very hard to do as a business. And especially a business, we're talking dollars and cents. But I'm a local guy. I graduated from high school in Hastings in '87, spent most of my career here. So this means a lot to me as well. But when you're providing a service, we can't predict we're going to run X amount of calls a day. I've had days where I'm the windshield, some days I'm the bug, where we do 2 calls and we did 20 that day. You really can't tell, but you still need that service. And with the climate with EMS nowadays, it's not pretty. There's ambulance services that are closing. Up north, there's Kinchlow. Their ambulance service is on the verge of closing because they're owed, and a few other ambulance services, $6 million from the state they're not able to collect. That hurts. It really does. Staffing. We are very fortunate here at Hastings, where on our roster today in Hastings, thankfully, we have a lot of local people. We haven't seen that in a long time. But there's people that do apply with Mercy, and I do all the hiring for Mercy. There's people I can't hire. They're too much of a liability. We're not getting the applicants in. We don't have people that are coming into the emergency services, be it, with EMS, fire, or law enforcement. There's many, many challenges, and it's really hard to put a measurable on that.
So what would you say is the biggest reason for the deficit now?
I would say, thanks to the pandemic and what it's done to the supply chain with the overall cost of everything, has really outpaced a lot of non-for-profits, especially the private services, even municipalities. If we were to order an ambulance today, it could take a year and a half to 2 years for us to get delivery on that. The equipment that we use, my goodness, technology is a great thing, but it's really expensive. The next generation monitors are out of this world expensive. Years ago, a monitor would cost $30,000. That's a cardiac monitor.
Right.
You could almost double that now. So there's a lot of things that are creating this change. It's outpacing a lot of services.
Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion by Brem, supported by Barlow, to increase, or to approve paying Mercy Ambulance $7,792 monthly, effective May 2025, until the end of the contract, which is you said 1/20/27?
Yes.
Any further comments, questions? Roll call.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Senselbart,
No.
McLean,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Devereaux,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Motion to accept proposal from McGrath Consulting to perform assessment of emergency medical services in an amount not to exceed $30,540. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by McLean, do I hear support?
I'll support.
Okay, motion by McLean, supported by Brem, to accept the proposal for McGrath Consulting to perform an assessment of emergency medical services in the amount not to exceed $30,540. Questions? Roll call.
Barlow,
Yes.
Senselbart,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Devereaux,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, item Q, motion to set a public hearing on April 28, 2025 to determine the necessity of a special assessment district for the downtown parking areas.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Motion by McLean, supported by Brem. Or Bream?
Brem.
I just want to make sure I'm doing that right. Okay, motion by McLean, supported by Brem, to set a public hearing for April 28, 2025 to determine the necessity of a special assessment district for downtown parking. Questions? Roll call.
Senselbart,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Devereaux,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Staff presentations and policy discussion, none. City manager's report.
I've included, at your seats there, a copy of the draft budget. It's pretty rough right now, but if you look at the end of each fund, there's a summary, on the last page. That'll give you an idea of where we're headed. At the budget workshop in a couple of weeks, I'll give a much more thorough explanation of what all these items are and what, leading the changes in the budget. That at least gives you a head start, something to use while we're waiting on the workshop. The council laptops are now available, so if you want to swap your iPad for a laptop, as long as you know your username and password, you can do that. If you don't remember your password or you need it reset, let me know. If you do know your information and you want that tonight, I do have them available in the other room. We can get you set up. It takes 5 minutes. If you don't have that information available, you need your password reset, let me know and I will have it reset just before the meeting on April 28th so that you're not going sometime without access to your email. So let me know either way what you prefer to do on that. We did get our Vector back, so it was only out for 2 weeks, which is good, because then we saved 50% on the rental, and as you know, the rental is very expensive. It costs about $18,000 to repair the Vector, but we do have it back now and functional. I included a letter in the agenda packet to the Rutland Township Board summarizing a meeting that we had with their negotiating committee and some representatives from the county related to the extension of utility services and potentially a 425 agreement for a planned Meyer store. I haven't heard back from them. I understand that they had their board meeting on Wednesday. I haven't had communication from them directly regarding the result of that, but I understand that they're still not interested in doing a 425 for any property other than that Meyer property itself. That presents a lot of practical issues as well as financial ones. But again, I haven't heard directly from them a response, so I'll just wait to hear their explanation on that and move forward from there. But I wanted you to be aware of the basis of those discussions and where that was heading so far. Also wanted to ask if you had any input on East Madison Street at dead ends, like many of those streets there, but East Madison doesn't have a street light on the end. The parallel streets do. East Madison, the houses on that end get their electric from the rear of the property rather than in front, so there's no light pole there. I was contacted by a resident requesting the installation of a street light, so I contacted Consumers Energy. They said that the cost of the light is $232 and they have to install a pole and do engineering. So I thought this was going to be like kind of pricey, but really all we pay for is the light and if there's any tree removal, which they're estimating at $2,000 to $3,000. So I didn't know if you wanted the city to pay for any portion of this, or if we say, you know, it's the residents who are the users, they're benefiting from it, we're willing to put in the order with consumers if they pay for the cost associated.
Is this West Madison?
East.
Really?
Oh, east.
Way over here by Bliss.
No, we're
Yes.
here.
No, it's gotta
South
be
Hanover.
West Madison, doesn't it?
I'm looking at
That's the
East
only
Madison
one
Street
that
now.
dead ends.
Okay, you're talking
Half a
about,
block.
well, you could be talking about west of.
I bet you.
37.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me look it up on
Well,
and then
yeah.
I'll tell you what it is.
I'm on
Bet you
South
it's
Hanover,
West
East Madison
That
Street.
does dead.
Madison dead ends two different places.
Well, yeah, there's like multiple North Jefferson, so.
I live on West Madison, people.
Well,
Yeah.
well, that is East Madison. It's behind, kind of behind, Catholic Church, isn't it, Rob?
Oh, East Madison? South Hanover, right there, next to Clinton.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
But she mentioned
Where it dead
Jefferson
ends?
Street.
Well, I was just
Does
getting
it dead end on east?
It does.
Oh, it does?
No,
No, but
on
on west
this
it
side,
does. Yeah.
on the east side of,
Hanover?
yes.
Yes,
You-
it's about a half a block long
The
and then
west, the
just
west side
dies.
of Hanover.
Oh, really?
Goes into a tree.
Should be
Oh.
about the 300 block, East Madison.
Okay,
Yep, yep.
Yes.
I'm not even,
But you mentioned Jefferson, that kind of threw me off
Thank
too.
you.
So normally what we do is all we do is we pay for the light and they add, doesn't consumers add that to our inventory of lights? They charge us, don't we have to pay rent on them?
So we pay for the electricity. Yeah. So I don't know how we've treated or if we've had streetlight requests in the past. There's a wide variety of ways that municipalities deal with streetlight requests, so there's not really right or wrong. I don't know what's typical. Or if you just want to do it on a case-by-case basis, depending on the location and
Well, where do they want the light at?
the end of the road.
Oh, right at the street of Madison and Hanover?
Well, see, now you got me wondering if it's east or west.
there is a dead
Because I don't-
end on
you're-
west.
because
It is west.
Yeah.
Not that I've got it on the map, it is west.
Great, I'm lost.
I could see
west.
Don't be
that.
lost
It's pretty
anymore.
dark down
I was
there.
lost, I told you the wrong place.
That's
So,
why I
I
asked.
apologize, the end of West Madison.
It's the very end of it then,
Yeah.
down there by.
Steve Hoke.
Yep.
No, it's not.
See, I
his
was
road,
looking at a
that's
street
my
light
road,
right
but
here, and I'm
yeah.
thinking, why would we
Oh,
use
that's
another
Clinton,
one?
isn't it?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
it's West
East
Madison.
Madison.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it's
he have a
Johnson's
driveway
old
on-
house.
Can do.
Maybe.
I think he does. I think
I
he
don't
drive
know.
all the way through.
That's weird.
So
Okay.
right now, so what's consumers want? They want us to pay for everything?
They don't care, I mean, someone's gonna have to pay for it, they don't care how we split it up.
Well,
You know.
I don't think we've ever charged a homeowner for a street light though.
I don't know. You can if you want to, you don't have to. I mean, if you think that there's enough benefit there in terms of safety and, illuminating the roadway, and that that's a public benefit, and that there should be a light there, then we can definitely install it. If you feel like it benefits those property owners to a greater degree than the general public, we can split it or have them pay the cost. All of those things are reasonable, it's just what your determination is about.
But we don't know what the
benefit
cost,
of the public.
we don't know what the cost is anyhow though.
Well, so it's $232 plus any tree removal, which the person I spoke to estimated at $2,000 to $3,000.
Can we research it more to see if there is tree removal, or if they can just put it up without moving any trees?
There's a
Can we
lot of
go
trees.
there at night and see how
I'm looking at a lot of trees.
We can. Can we do a street light study?
I mean, you can go there directly after this meeting, right?
Yeah, see how dark it is.
I'm gonna drive down there. I'll tell you where.
I mean, we can bring it back up at a future meeting too, if you
Yeah.
wanna think about it a
Let's,
little bit.
yeah,
and
give us time to look and see and.
Of course, we've kinda had an idea of putting a trail down through McNair Street.
Yes, so this
That's
is
right in the same area.
adjacent to the city's right of way.
Right.
Our unimproved right of way.
Right.
Which could become a trail or something at
Yeah.
some point, and then we may wanna light there anyway.
That might be nice, yeah.
That's something to consider as well.
So you wanna just kinda research, is that what you wanna do?
Well, what would you like me to research?
See how many trees got cut down.
I just,
We could do a $50,000 study on streetlights.
It depends on where they want it. I can't think of as many trees at that end.
West Madison and Cass has a street light.
Yeah, but you're talking all the way to
Yeah.
the end of
Down
At the
West
dead end
Madison.
side
the
you
hill.
want it?
The dead end.
Yeah.
So apparently there's vehicles parking there in the dark, and it happens fairly regularly. and
Probably teenagers.
The people who live there, I don't know.
Oh, I see, there's a, like, little, all right, I'm looking at it. I looked at Google
We
Maps.
don't want to destroy
That's for the police
next
department.
I'd like to have you send Rob up there.
Is that a
and
new
inventory the
parking
trees.
spot?
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah, that way.
He's the new street administrator.
Yes, you're the street administrator now.
So I go up there and park.
Anything
tonight?
else?
Yeah,
Let me know how secluded it is, Rob.
yeah. Take the new truck down there.
Oh, that's all I have to
That's all.
say.
Okay, also in your report, you have Chief Jordan's monthly report. Chief, do you have anything to add?
No, unless you have any questions of me.
Also in your report, you have David Edelman's monthly report from the library. Anything to add, Dave?
No, sir.
Any questions of Dave? Okay, reports and communications. In your packet, you have item A, YMCA update for the City of Hastings, March 19, 2025. Item B, Hastings Public Library Board of Trustees draft minutes of March 31st, 2025. Entertain a motion to accept and place on file item A and B.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Okay, motion by Brum, supported by McLean, to accept and place on file items A and B. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Public comment. Any public left back here? Mayor and council comment. First thing I wanna do is I wanna say how great the Berry Robay was this year.
Yes, it
You know,
was
I didn't
awesome.
really, I understand there was maybe 2 or 3 incidents where people got hurt, but as a whole, I spent about 6 hours down there and talked to a lot of people, even a fellow council member. But I think everybody enjoyed it. I talked to a lot of people that this has been their 6th, 7th, 8th year they've come here, and I had one guy, I was walking away, and he thanked me, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I said, how do you know me? And he said, I heard you speak. I always get up and say something to welcome these people to Hastings. You know, everybody that helped out at the Berry Robay, volunteers, Rotary, the fire department, police department, the garage, And I know I'm gonna forget somebody, but everybody did a great job. They stepped up. Dale got his head sunburned, but other than that. But I wanna thank everybody involved, and I wanna thank Barry Robay for continuing to come here. The first thing I witnessed was the start of the 100-miler. There was 500 bicycles in that 100-miler, and it was neat, so. Anyhow, any further comment? How about you?
I have to reiterate what he said. Barry Roubaix was fun. Just a great time. That's all I had, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, Norman?
Well, Rotary went from $18,000 to $26,000.
I was there,
They did
got that from.
$26,000 they'll have this year.
Yep.
From $18,000 last year, so they went that much higher.
A lot of thirsty people.
Jordan?
Nice day.
Jackie?
Nothing.
Ann?
Oh, it was just energy, and I live right at the starting line, so I was out there for the 100-milers, and it was exciting.
Any comment, John?
Basically, to reiterate everything you said about the Roubaix, it was fantastic. I enjoyed every bit of it. I also talked to a lot of people from out of town, and they were just thrilled that we put this on.
Yeah.
So, it was a win-win for everybody. Our businesses flourished.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, if there's no further comment, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Motion by McLean,
Support.
supported by Devroy. To adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. We're adjourned. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here, Joe.